Have you ever wondered where Dora the Explorer came from? That little girl with a purple backpack, a singing map, and a monkey named Boots. There's a very curious explanation for it. Behind her, there's a story full of challenges, Latin representation, and many controversies. So get ready, because today we're bringing you the story and evolution of Dora the Explorer. In 1988, Nickelodeon was looking to create a new kind of educational program, something that would revolutionize the children's programming industry. At that time, there were already a few educational programs that taught how to find things, solve small mysteries and really lame situations, honestly. Something was needed so kids wouldn't be so useless. So they put out a call to see what the best idea was, and that's when Chris Gifford showed up, who had also identified that same problem in children's programming, especially because his young children found it quite difficult to do things on their own, since he preferred to let them watch television rather than give them a book. His inspiration came from something in daily life, children who wanted to do things on their own, but simply couldn't. This was a great opportunity, both for Nickelodeon and for Gifford. And since this was quite a big and revolutionary project, Gifford alone wouldn't be enough. He would have the support of Valerie Walsh and Eric Weiner. And this is where Dora the Explorer would begin to be born. But how did they do it? They based it on the most popular educational series of that time, Blue's Clues. Well, in this series, kids already experienced interactive adventures guided by clues to solve a variety of puzzles and problems. So it was time to take this idea to the next level. Now they would teach a new language and more complex problems. The biggest problem that Blue's Clues had was that most of the episodes took place inside a house. And this made it very difficult for the writers to be creative. So for this new show, they would include more open and diverse settings. And what about the main character? It was thought that the character should be female, because that way she would represent preschool teachers. It's just that something very curious happened. This first design of the character was about a white girl named Nina and her mouse companion. But that sounded pretty cliché. Besides, there were already a lot of white children's characters. So Nickelodeon was the one who suggested turning her into a Latina girl. Back then, there wasn't any Latino protagonist in American children's television. And so, with the help of cultural and linguistic consultants, Nina became Dora Marquez, a 7-year-old adventurous girl who wouldn't have a defined nationality and would teach Spanish to English-speaking children. But the last name Marquez wasn't chosen at random. In fact, it's a tribute to the Colombian writer Gabriel Garcia Marquez, who is highly recognized in Latin American literature. The name Dora is a bit hard to explain. It's a play on words in English, since the idea was that the show would be about this girl who explored the world while learning. So they already had the word explorer in English, and according to them, it rhymed with Dora, explorer and Dora, Dora the Explorer. Honestly, I'm not sure what they thought rhymed, but it sounds good. The truth is, it's just by chance in Spanish. Dora the Explorer really fit perfectly. But this was just the easy part, because this is where the biggest challenges would come up. Because they had to consult with several experts in order to develop a series that, indeed, could be a tool for the youngest children. So for the development of Dora, there was the participation of educational consultants, who would help children develop social and language skills. That's right, friends. Dora had National Aeronautics and Space Administration technology back then. Thanks to the help of these experts, that's how Dora's famous phrase, "We did it," was born.
We did it!
Symbolizing that learning of the children together with Dora. And obviously, Dora wasn't going to live all these adventures alone. She was going to be accompanied by her best friend, Boots! As we said before, the designers were thinking of a small animal to accompany Dora. But a yellow monkey seemed more expressive and closer to the energy of childhood. That's right, friends! That's how horrible Boots looked in his first version. It was Boots, but in Super Saiyan 3 mode. Boots was a monkey because kids would connect better with a little monkey, since he basically has the personality of a preschooler. That's why Boots asks Dora so many questions. He just wants to learn about the world, just like little kids. And starting from these two main characters, they began to design others like a backpack, a map, and the very famous fox. In addition to some of Dora's friends, who we would see constantly in the series. And that's how in 1999 the pilot of Dora the Explorer was shown to Nickelodeon. But it wasn't as well produced as the later episodes, and it only lasted 15 minutes. In it we see a somewhat bizarre version of Dora, and we were shown part of what the intro would be like.
Dora the Explorer.
Dora! Dora!
The characters went through quite a few changes in the final version, since Boots was yellow and looked wilder. For her part, Backpack looked a bit more square, and Map looked like he had taken some questionable substances. These designs would be completely changed for the following episodes. And it's worth mentioning that this pilot was never publicly aired on television. It only served to convince Nickelodeon of the idea. But what did Nickelodeon say? That, yes! Even though it looked bizarre, they saw a lot of potential in it. But Dora's premiere wasn't on television like many people thought. Before officially making it to the screen, Dora the Explorer was already conquering the world of the internet. In 1999, Nickelodeon decided to do something completely new for its time. To introduce Dora first on the internet to promote her. On the official Nick Jr. website, they created games and small interactive adventures, long before the first episode aired on television, so that the audience could get familiar with her.
Hi, I'm Dora the Explorer. Let's have a little fun.
Map!
Telephone!
Come on, vámonos! Everybody, let's go!
This strategy was historic, since Dora became the first Nickelodeon character to debut on the internet. And if you think about it, it makes perfect sense, since initially Dora was intended to be an internet series. That's why it has that format, as if you were in front of a computer. Even the small blue arrow icon on the screen was a direct nod to the mouse cursor. With this innovative idea, Dora was already one step ahead of shows like Barney, the Teletubbies, or even Sesame Street, which were already dominating the children's market, because it was one of the first children's shows to break the barrier between television and the digital age. And that's how on August 14th, 2000, the first episode was officially released on Nick Jr. Its visual style was simple, with bright colors and 2D animation designed to keep the attention of younger children. This style can still be seen today and has inspired many children's shows such as Bluey. We see Dora accompanied by her friend Boots, with a cleaner design now being blue and his iconic red boots. Also, Boots' appearance became cuter and more adorable, so you wouldn't think you were watching an episode of Dragon Ball. By the way, did you know how Dora met Boots in this series? Well, actually, Dora met Boots. When Swiper tried to steal his red boots, Dora helped him, and that's how a friendship began that became inseparable. And speaking of Swiper, we need to clear something up. Swiper was not born in Tlaxcala in 1989. Those results that show up on Google are because of the forgotten Spanish Dora wiki. Literally, the first line of this wiki says, Dora the Exterminator is Uta Sesirinie Tenetashub, an animated character in Eda Colag, created by Ford, Walsh Valdez, and Eric Kaner 999. And then it says that in Calpulalpan, Tlaxcala, that's where the episode The Repair Machine was filmed. They rode along the Crocodile River to cross into the municipality of Texcoco in the state of Mexico. And so, a bunch of inconsistencies. But anyway, putting that aside, Mochila and Mappa ended up almost identical to the original design. It's just that Mochila became less square and cuter, and Mappa, well, he went to rehab. And so, Dora traveled through jungles, rivers, and mountains to complete educational missions, teaching basic words in Spanish and English. And each episode was developed with the guidance of experts in psychology, education, and linguistics. They weren't just made up out of nowhere, there was an entire production and research process behind them. The pause-response format that Dora used, where the child had to answer before the story continued, wasn't just to frustrate you with so many pauses. It was designed to stimulate children's memory, decision-making, and self-confidence in all of them. This is for children between 2 and 6 years old. The famous "We did it" at the end of each episode wasn't just a catchy phrase, it represented a moment of positive reinforcement, teaching children the value of teamwork and the satisfaction of completing a task. So if you ever got excited about this song, congratulations! You were part of the biggest social experiment in the world. After its premiere, everyone was really delighted with the new format that Dora presented. And just in its first week, Dora the Explorer became the most watched show by children between 2 and 5 years old on American television. In under a year, it aired in over 120 countries and was translated into more than 25 languages. In English-speaking places, Dora taught Spanish.
You can't pass.
Uh-oh, the crocodile won't let us pass.
In Hispanic countries, I taught English.
In my backpack, anything fits. Right, backpack?
But what about the other countries? Have you ever wondered what Dora taught in Japan or in Germany? The sad truth is that this Latina girl, in most of her translations, teaches English.
That's crazy.
Thank you. Thank you.
One more time.
Oily butt.
And Nickelodeon already knew that they had created something really big with Dora. Well, the network invested more than $1 million in advertising campaigns before its premiere. Ads in parenting magazines, products in supermarkets, and even materials for preschools. And that's how Dora the Explorer became Nick Jr.'s first big global hit. And it opened the door to shows like Ni Hao Kailan, Team Umizoomi, and Bubble Guppies. Its success was so great that in 2003 the series won the Peabody Award, one of the most prestigious honors in television, for its contribution to children's education and cultural representation. And that was just the beginning. He won 16 Emmy Awards and several National Association for the Advancement of Colored People Image Awards, and Imagen Awards for his positive Latino representation. That same year, Dora became the first Latina protagonist to have her own giant balloon in the Macy's Thanksgiving Day Parade in New York. A true cultural icon. With worldwide success, Nickelodeon decided to expand the universe. In 2005, Go Diego Go was born, starring Dora's cousin Diego Marquez, a young animal rescuer. The series addressed ecological topics and reinforced values like empathy and caring for the planet. All of Dora's designs remained the same until the 6th season. Here, designs were improved with brighter colors and added details throughout the series. This first series concluded in 2015 with 8 seasons, since a new series was planned with an older Dora, which in fact had already premiered a year earlier. Dora and Her Friends, Into the City, premiered on August 18, 2014. This sequel showed a 10-year-old Dora having urban adventures with a new group of friends. The map was replaced by a cell phone app reflecting the change of times. That same period brought a curious controversy. Before the premiere, Nickelodeon released a silhouette of the new teenage Dora. Some parent associations in the United States accused the channel of sexualizing the girl, just because of her slimmer figure and because now she was going to wear a skirt to show her legs. However, when the series aired, the controversy turned out to be just a simple tantrum. From these American moms, the new Dora was still the same curious and brave girl as always. In 2019, Dora made the leap to the big screen with the movie Dora and the Lost City of Gold, starring Isabella Merced, along with Eva Longoria and Michael Peña as her parents. The film combined action, comedy, and nods to the original show. It included referential moments where Dora spoke directly to the audience, just like she did in the animated series. The movie was well received by the entire family audience, and interestingly, it established Isabella Merced as one of the most promising young Latina actresses in Hollywood. The movie had a budget of $49 million, managing to gross $120 million, almost triple its investment. The commercial impact of Dora was gigantic. During its success, the franchise managed to generate more than $13 billion in sales of toys, books, and products. There were everything from classic dolls, interactive backpacks, and action figures, to a curious doll called Dora Lynx. which connected to the computer and changed its eye color or accessories depending on the online games. It was one of the first connected toy experiences for girls, long before today's smart devices existed. In 2024, with the new reboot, Dora Say Hello to Adventure. That is, hello, new toy lines with modern technology were launched. Talking backpacks, microphones that translate words, and figures that dance to the rhythm of the original songs. And 25 years after her debut, Dora is still exploring. In 2024, Nickelodeon and Paramount Plus premiered the animated reboot Dora with smoother digital animation, new characters, but the same essence. Dora's voice now belongs to Diana Zermeno, while Kathleen Hurley, the original voice, plays her mother, closing a symbolic cycle. Also, in July 2025, a new live-action movie was released called Dora in Search of the Golden Sun, which was not as successful as the first one. Honestly, I just found out that it was released, but oh well! And to this day, Dora surprised us with her premiere of Dora, Magical Adventures in the Kingdom of the Mermaids, which are a collection of 4 episodes that premiered in theaters. This one already has a more 3D design and many people say it looks ugly. But even with all its criticism, today Dora is broadcast in more than 150 countries and 32 languages. So then, did Dora the Explorer fulfill her purpose of making kids less useless? Well, no, but at least they made the attempt. This was the story and evolution of Dora the Exterminator. If you liked it, leave in the comments "we did it" and tell us what other character you'd like to see in the next video. And don't forget to subscribe to our other channel in English, because I also talk there, just with an American accent. Unlike Dora from YouTube videos,